Welcome to Flawless Shoe Reviews. Today we're comparing the Hoka Bondi 9 with the New Balance More V6. They're two of the most popular max cushion shoes in the market, but they provide stability and cushioning in different ways, and they fit differently on top as well. I'll break down the differences between these shoes so you have a better idea of which works best for you. So if we look at the Hoka Bondi 9 first, we've got the supercritical foam in the midsole, so that's a move away from the classic CM EVA foam that we see in most of the other Hoka shoes. So it makes it softer, bouncier, a little bit springier, a bit more responsive than what we've seen in the previous Bondi models. In contrast to that, we still have the New Balance Fresh Foam X cushioning in the More V6, however it feels different in the previous models. It's a little bit firmer, not as squishier, and a little bit more stable as a result, so you don't sink into it as much, you don't have that cloud-like feel. Now don't get me wrong, it's still a really comfortable shoe, but sometimes having a really soft shoe can make it a little bit more unstable. So when comparing the midsoles on the two shoes, you get a slightly firmer feel in the New Balance compared to the bouncier, springier feel in the Bondi 9. As well as that, we've got a different outsole and we've got a different width on the shoes as a result. So while we still have a really broad midsole in the Hoka Bondi 9, it is a little bit broader in the New Balance More V6, and in fact I'd say it's the broadest shoe that I've come across in the market so far, much broader than other shoes like the Brooks Ghost Max 2. So it's really broad in the midfoot, but then broadens out even further in the forefoot, and that makes the shoe a lot more stable than what we saw in the previous iterations of this. So the Bondi 9 is still a really wide shoe on the foot. It still provides lots of support by having a broad platform, but it's just not as wide as what we see in the More V6. As well as that, we've got some sole flare in the forefoot of the Bondi 9, so it comes out wider than where your foot sits in the shoe to try and provide extra elements of stability. It's even more prominent in the More V6, adding to extra stability in the forefoot. So having that extra broad base support, extra stability through sole flare in the forefoot and the More V6 can make it more beneficial for those of you who want a max cushion shoe, those of you who need some extra pronation support, because we got a lot of sole flare on the outside of the shoe. Now they've reduced the sidewalls in the More V6 compared to the 5, so they're not as prominent on the inside and the outside of the shoe, and those who aren't familiar with sidewalls, this is where the midsole comes up, cradles the foot to try and provide extra elements of stability, controlling pronation moments, and they're much more prominent in the Hoka Bondi 9 on the inside and the outside of the heel. So just something to be aware of. If you don't like that kind of bite or push up onto your foot, you may enjoy the More V6 a little bit more. And as we move up the shoe, we've got a redesigned upper on the More V6 compared to the previous model of 5. It's a plush upper on both shoes, so a little bit warmer if you live in a hotter climate. It's a little bit of a narrower fit in the Hoka Bondi 9 than what we see in the More V6, which is extra wide fit in a normal shoe. But both of them come in a wide and an extra wide version as well. Just keep in mind that we still have that slight race taper on the Bondi 9, so it just wraps around slightly around that little toe in case you get any sensitivity there. Both of them have plenty of volume in the toe box, but it's a little bit lower on the Bondi 9. They both come in around the same weight, 297 in the Bondi 9 and 300 grams in the More V6 in a size 9 men's US. However, they have a slightly different drop, so we've got a 4mm drop with 44 mils in the rear foot, 40 in the forefoot in the More V6, while we have a 43 in the rear foot, 38 in the forefoot, giving you a 5mm drop in the Hoka Bondi 9. Now, the fit on top is a true to size and length for both shoes. Then we've a nice padded tongue that's gusseted on the More V6 but not on the Bondi, and we've got plenty of padding around the heel cup with relatively stiff heel counters on both shoes. So they're two slightly different shoes even though they're max cushioning. They're a little bit bouncier and a little bit more responsive in the Hoka Bondi 9 if you want to use it for walking. When it comes to running, they're both brilliant shoes for recovery shoes, long distance running if you're happy to sacrifice the extra bit of weight but you want the extra cushioning for longer distances such as marathon running, or if you just want to do some steady, easy miles in them. When it comes to standing for long periods of time, the low drop's going to give you a nice even distribution of pressure across your foot. A little bit of a better rocker on the Bondi 9, a little bit flatter, especially around the heel bevel on the New Balance More V6, and they both have quite aggressive forefoot rockers with a little bit of toe spring in them, and that's where your toes are held in slight extension. So, two excellent shoes for standing all day as a lifestyle shoe for walking for long periods of time. You're going to get lots of protection underfoot, a little bit firmer, a little bit more stable with a broader base and a bit more space in the toe box in the More V6, a little bit narrower, a little bit springier, a little bit more responsive overall in the Bondi 9. However, if you have any questions on them, drop in the comment section below. Got links to both shoes in the description if you want to check the latest price on Amazon. Otherwise, like and share and subscribe. It is really helpful to the channel if you found the video helpful.